Here's more wrestling news for September 14th, 2021. And your headlines for this afternoon include: William Regal books WWE NXT title match for this week, Mick Foley criticizes WWE NXT for losing wrestlers' identities, Kenny Omega says Roman Reigns could have easily been number 1 in PWI 500, possible new AEW stable name revealed, CM Punk set for commentary on AEW Dynamite, WWE reviewed all NXT contracts to avoid another Adam Cole situation, yet another wrestler's WWE contract expires this year, Gable Steveson reveals the length of his WWE contract, thinks he'll go straight to the main roster, Brian Cage tweets out after wife complained about his booking in AEW, Fandango gets amazing Brodie Lee tattoo in touching tribute, and more. We are kicking off with NXT, which will usher in a new era tonight, but it'll have to do so without a top champion. Due to an injury, Samoa Joe has been forced to relinquish the NXT title, and a new champion will be crowned tonight. In a statement, General Manager William Regal announced that a fatal four-way match, which was originally meant to determine Joe's next challenger, will instead be for the vacant title. That means that either LA Knight, Tommaso Ciampa, Kyle O'Reilly, or Pete Dunne will be leaving the Capitol Wrestling Center as champion, which could make for an interesting call given the ongoing contract disputes. There's still no word on if Dunne has signed a new deal with WWE, as his contract is set to expire soon, and a title win could certainly be used to sweeten the deal for the Bruiserweight. Time will tell who is crowned the new NXT champion, but the Gold brand is ushering in their new era in a huge way tonight. As a 14-time WWE World Champion, Intercontinental and US Champion, and current Raw Tag Team Champion, Randy Orton has done it all in WWE, and is rightfully seen as a locker room leader. One thing the Viper is not is a doctor, but that didn't stop one fan from asking him for some medical advice this week. In a tweet, the fan shared the photo of his 6-year-old stepdaughter's bite wound, which seemed to be from a spider, and asked Orton for his feedback. Bewildered, Orton responded by ordering the fan to take his stepdaughter to a doctor and asked why the fan thought he'd know what to do. We can only imagine that the fan thought WWE's resident Viper was an expert on all spider bites, but that isn't the case, and just because he's the apex predator, that doesn't mean he has an encyclopedic knowledge on Arnold Schwarzenegger movies either. Recently, Mick Foley got in hot water with WWE for posting a video in which he highlighted some of the company's biggest problems. In the video, Mick talked about the booking of Keith Lee and Karrion Kross on the main roster, which has paled in comparison to the runs in NXT. Foley isn't done in his crusade to improve WWE's product, as on Busted Open Radio, he spoke about how NXT has problems too, and that the company's developmental system causes wrestlers to lose their individuality. He said, "I was watching sporadically and I was like, wow, look at that guy. Good shape, looks great, handsome guy, wearing trunks, great moves, can't remember his name. A lot of guys tend to fall into the same pattern of looking and wrestling the same." WWE may not like what Foley has to say, but that won't stop him trying to improve the product, both on the main roster and in the company's very own developmental ground. Earlier this month, Pro Wrestling Illustrated released their annual Top 500 Male Wrestlers listing, and for the second time, Kenny Omega was number 1. The reigning AEW World Champion beat Universal Champion Roman Reigns to second place, and given the Tribal Chief's incredible time over the past year, many fans believe that he should have taken the top spot. Speaking on the PW podcast, Omega talked about the stiff competition he had in this year's list, and admitted that the head of the table could have taken the top spot. "I don't think I was number 1 by far. I think the best part about this year, especially, is you could have went in multiple directions and no one would be disappointed. I feel that, up until his unfortunate injury, number 1 could have been Will Ospreay. Number 1 could have easily been Shingo Takagi. Number 1 could have easily been Roman Reigns. Everyone had such a strong year." The most recent PWI 500 list was constructed during an unprecedented year in wrestling, where live crowds couldn't attend and shows had to happen behind closed doors, so it's safe to say that whoever came first, they would have earned that top spot. More from AEW, as the Young Bucks are 2 of the biggest names in the company, and now the brothers are looking to expand their work as professional wrestlers. According to PW Insider, the Bucks recently filed to trademark the term Super Click, and it's believed to be the name of a new stable in the company. This is an interesting name given that Super Click was a stable on the Indies that included the Bucks and Adam Cole, And with the former NXT champion now in AEW, it seems that SuperClick could be having a reunion, despite all three men being part of the Elite. Since debuting for AEW last month, CM Punk has been a regular on TV, and we now know what's in store for the former WWE champion this week. It's been confirmed that Punk will be on commentary during this week's Dynamite, and will probably have a lot to say about his budding feud with Team Taz. Wednesday's show will also see Frankie Kazarian face Adam Cole in the latter's in-ring debut for the company, as well as Jade Cargill taking on Layla Hirsch. Shawn Spears will take on Darby Allin, whilst Bryan Danielson will once again address AEW World Champion Kenny Omega, as the company continues on the road to Full Gear in November. It's highly possible that Punk will one day feud with Adam Cole, who joined AEW just a few days after his short-term NXT deal expired. Before his release, we reported that Cole's original contract, which expired in July, ended far earlier than anyone in WWE expected, and that Pete Dunne was a similar situation. Fightful Select reports that WWE has since reviewed everyone's contracts in the Gold brand to make sure they know when exactly every deal is up. The report adds that WWE also checked for non-compete clauses, as they want to avoid another Malachi Black situation, who was able to join AEW a month after his WWE release because he had a 30-day non-compete clause instead of the standard 90-day clause for main roster talent. WWE has lost a lot of great talents this year, and with NXT setting to debut their new rebrand tonight, the last thing the show needs is more talent leaving without WWE even knowing. Losing Adam Cole was a huge blow to NXT, but he may not be the only former NXT champion looking for work outside WWE. Fightful reports that Johnny Gargano's WWE NXT contract is up soon and will expire on December 3rd of this year. The report also notes that WWE and the NXT Triple Crown champion haven't entered any talks of a new contract as of yesterday, but are expected to negotiate a new contract very soon. This December 3rd date is, interestingly, when WWE believed Adam Cole's contract was up, meaning they were out by 5 months as his original deal expired in July, causing Cole to sign a short-term contract that allowed him to wrestle at NXT TakeOver 36. Joining NXT in 2015, The Way's leader has some tough decisions to make in the coming months, and although AEW can't sign everyone, a guy like Johnny Gargano will be hard to pass on for Tony Khan. This month, Gable Steveson signed a lucrative deal with WWE that'll allow him to keep defending his NCAA championship while training to be a superstar. Sitting down with Ariel Helwani of the MMA Hour, the Olympic gold medalist discussed his future, saying that he may compete at the 2024 Games in Paris if his WWE contract allows it. Given that the Paris Games are 3 years away, Steveson actually disclosed that his contract with WWE is at least 3 years long, and added that his contract with WWE means he could skip NXT entirely and jump straight to the main roster. Steveson is a huge get for WWE and will bring a lot of attention to the company when he eventually makes his TV debut, which may happen sooner than anyone thinks. More from AEW, as Brian Cage hasn't been getting a high spotlight in AEW lately, and that's a major problem for his wife, Melissa Santos. Recently, Santos tweeted her frustrations, saying AEW is misusing her husband, and now Cage has responded. In his own tweet, Cage said he appreciates everyone's opinions, both good and bad, and promised that he has something in store for everyone. Time will tell what that something is, because with CM Punk now feuding with Team Taz, it seems that the Machine has moved on from his most recent storyline. And we're ending today with Fandango, who was released by WWE this year, and during his lengthy tenure, he made a lot of friends in the company. One friend Fandango made was Brodie Lee, who tragically passed last December, and now Fandango has shown just how much their friendship meant to him. On Instagram, the dancing wrestler revealed his new tattoo of the Dark Order's leader, along with the text, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," which was one of Lee's catchphrases. Fandango and Brodie Lee competed against each other in WWE, but were clearly very close behind the scenes, and it's great to see how wrestlers continue to pay tribute to their fallen comrade in their own unique ways. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.